¿Se estará bien posicionada la cámara? Sí. Ah, no, está media chueca, ¿no?
Sí.
¿Ahí está mejor? No sé si está mejor la cámara, pero bueno. Por ahí. Por ahí lo dejo. Y le avisamos a la gente.
Ok, estamos en vivo. Hello, everybody.
Mira, cuéntale a la gente qué hiciste hoy.
Today,
What did you do today?
I make sport. I make practice. I practice burpees and yeah. And today we make Milonga.
Yes. So
Double time.
Today we're going to do Milonga. So, dear friend, okay.
Yeah.
Where do you want to stay there? Okay, very good.
I don't know.
It's because I have the two cameras here, so I hope this is looking good.
Position,
Yes. Okay, very good. Yes. So today, ciao, Luca.
Ciao.
Today we are going to be doing Milonga. Robert is here too. Hola, desde Polonia, dice. Un saludo. So, today we're going to be doing Milonga and specifically Doble Tiempo Continuo. What does it mean, Doble Tiempo Continuo? Doble Tiempo, you know that the Doble Tiempo, or double timing, is when you double the speed. Let's say a double timing has at least 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is the double timing. But when you do a continuous double timing, you have more than 3 steps. And this is what we're going to do today. We're going to do a Milonga sequence just to show you what can you... okay, she's already here. She's going to be here probably greeting you the whole time. So then we're going to do a Milonga sequence where we are going to find a continuous double timing. But for this, we first need to build this sequence up, right? So I would say before we say subscribe to this channel, UniversiTango, and so on, let's show the beginning of the sequence because there's enough material to work on today. So let's say in order to understand what we are going to do, we need to start with the basics. And the basics here is going to be, let's say, this is going to change the form, it's going to change the shape. But at the beginning, we want you to understand how it works. So we go to the side and 3. So 2 and 3. Side step, forward, I return to the line, 6, 7, 8. Let's say this is the main pattern we are going to work on at the beginning. But of course, as you see here, it looks like tango. Side, forward, forward on the line, side, and connect. The only thing that looks more like Milonga here is that we are not crossing, right? So we are going back to the line here so that she cannot cross. So this looks already more like Milonga. But until now, when we dance like this, it looks more like that. So what can we do so that it looks like Milonga? How can we transform this? First of all, I recommend you to play more with some waves and not with squares. Because in tango it would be more like this, right? But in Milonga, it's not going to be that square. So in Milonga, it's going to be like more like a wave. This is how I do that, and this is how I explain it. If I show it from this point of view, you're going to see that the tango shape is more like a square. You see, there's no so much waves, but in Milonga, so you have like more this kind of movements. So this is the first thing that I would do to start with the sequence. So they can, yes. So this is the first thing that we're going to do. Remember that in Milonga, we change weight constantly. So we are shifting the weight, change the weight from one leg to the other constantly. And we don't need to lead every one of them because it would be too stressful. everything or every time that I change the verb, that I transfer my weight from one foot to the other, this is already the leading. I don't need more than this. So here we can start with it. And we continue and we repeat. Side, outside, line, side, and collect. Remember, I go outside, I will turn to the line, to the side, and collect. So, it's salida, outside, line, side, collect. And salida, outside, on line, side, and collect. This is going to be the first thing that we are going to do. Now, keep this in mind because we are going to continue with the next pattern. We want to show you first where does everything come from, because if we show you the full sequence, you are going to probably not understand where does it come from. But if we show you the elements separately, then you're going to understand where it comes from, and it's much easier to understand it, so you're going to make faster improvement there. And for people who are jumping in, now I can say, subscribe to this channel. We are doing these live streamings once or twice a week, if it's possible for us, and we let you all know through the free Telegram channel. The free Telegram channel is UniversiTango. I will write it here in the chat. It's very easy to just type in there, join channel, and you're in. That's it, it's for free. And the other site is UniversiTango.com. You know that already. This is actually an opt-in page. You have the direct link here in the chat too. This is an opt-in page where you're going to see free tango lessons, live streamings, the topics. Enter your email, enter, and you are in. It's also for free. And we let you know when we're going to do the next live streaming, the topic, the time, and the direct link, which is the link to the recording too. And that's it. And also Instagram, UniversiTango. So now, let's continue. The next pattern is going to be the enganchada. And here, I don't want to spend much time with the enganchada because you should all more or less know the enganchada. The enganchada in tango is, for example, side step. Let's say I do a front sacada now. I block her back and she crosses or she hooks with the right foot behind the left. This is the enganchada, right? For the enganchada, it's important to block her right side of the back so that she can't do the ocho. So I do a sacada, and this is an enganchada. So the enganchada has no pivot. It's like replacing a backward ocho. If I don't block the back, it might be that she makes an ocho, and then this works, it doesn't work anymore. So I prefer to block the back. I block the back, she crosses behind, and then she resolves. It's important for the woman to know, especially here in Milonga. Once you do the enganchada, which is this hooking here, please resolve and prepare the next step immediately. Don't wait for any kind of leading. This is the resolution of the enganchada. Let's say the standard resolution, the automatic resolution. Then we can do modifications, but the most useful solution is this one. Resolve, prepare the next step back. Right? So, let's say this is still like tango. Salida, sacada, enganchada. She resolves and prepares the next step immediately. Right? So, we continue with the enganchada. The enganchada doesn't need necessarily a sacada before. You can do the enganchada, for example, from a rebote. Let's say we do 2, 3, we go there and I pull and she makes the enganchada. Thus you have the enganchada already. So the enganchada has also, or is related to pulling her over her axis to what is my right side in this case. I pull her over and she crosses with the right foot behind the left. This is already an enganchada. So you can do a sacada before, you can do a rebote before, or you can just pull directly. In this case, why do I tell you that you have those possibilities for doing enganchada? Because this is going to have a relation now to the step we did before. You know, what we did at the beginning of the live streaming today was this step like this side and connect. So we can do side step, outside, line, side, and now I can pull, and she should do the enganchada. The enganchada happens because I pull her over the axis, blocking the right side of her back. This is why the enganchada happens. I'll show it again from this point of view. 2, 3, 6, 7, I pull enganchada, right? So, in Milonga, of course, we changed the way before and transferred the way from one to the other. Let me hear. Okay, here we have the beat. So, salida, 3, 6, 7, I pull, and she makes the enganchada. So, this would be the Milonga version. Now, there are still some things to do so that it looks more like Milonga, because at the moment it looks like too much as a square. So it still has something from tango. So we need to transform it more into Milonga. Hey, James from Brazil.
A little bit, no? You
Hello. Yes. Need to pull. Yes.
Yes.
Need to pull. This is what I was telling before. So you need to pull a little bit, but remember, always blocking the right side of her back. Here. This is from the middle, the right side, and I pull to me, and then I pull over her axis there. And this is, let's say, the signal for the enganchada if you want to lead it directly. Now, when I do this, an advantage too, it's to be in close embrace, right? Because if you're in close embrace, there's no other possibility for her. She can't pivot because you block. She can't go forward because you're blocking. So everything's blocked. The only possibility is to cross back. So it's very clear. It happened to me too in such kind of open embrace that I pulled and the woman went forward. So that's why I say that in close embrace it's going to be better than in open embrace. So it's going to be safer. All right? So, and I want to tell you, we launched 2 days ago on Wednesday. It was quite late. It was like, I think, 7 p.m. I thought it's going to be at 3 p.m., but it was 7 p.m. because of the internet was not so good. And we launched the new Milonga level up routine inside of Tango Expert. These are practice routines made for practicing. We tell you step by step what you have to do. We give you the sequence, one step alone, with metronome, with the rhythm together, rhythm alone, with variants, with music. We give you the whole practice routine. You only have to follow it step by step, and you can find it inside of tangoexpert.com. You have a 14-day free trial, and you can try everything what we have inside there. I will write you also the direct link to tangoexpert.com here in the chat. So, where do all double movements come from? Which double movements are you talking about, James? Double movements. You mean the double timing? Because double timings depends. It depends on which kind of double timing. If it's a doble salida, it's kind of lifting. If it's a rebote, it's more stopping. Once you give the signal, you stop immediately. If it's double timing in walking, it's more lifting and increasing the pressure. So there are many kinds of double timing. Doble tiempo continuo. We're going to come to this part because we're still with the enganchada. The doble tiempo continuo comes then. And also the doble tiempo continuo, it depends on what are you double timing and how do you continue. Because there are different, as I said, different kind of double timings, and not all of them are like the same. For example, just to answer to the question, if I do a double timing in walking, so for example, I go there and I do 1, 2, 3. What I do in this case is I lift a little bit and I increase the pressure forward. If I do a doble salida, it's different. I just lift. For example, this would be a doble salida. I don't increase the pressure, I just lift. If I do a robote, it's like stopping. I don't need to lift because I just want her to go forward. Alright, so it depends on the case, but we're going to show you one possibility today. Right? Yes, we're going to show you a sequence today for the Doble Tiempo Continuo. So, now, what we're going to do now is we're going to give a Milonga shape to the steps we did, right? Okay, I want to find the beat because the music is very, very low. So, until now, we have this. We have side 3, 6, 7, enganchada. And then you continue to the 3, right? But it still looks like that. So what I'm going to do is first, with the salida, instead of doing the salida here, I'm going to do the salida more diagonal. So I don't go here, I go diagonally. This is going to make it look more like Milonga, because it goes more or less in the line of this curve that I'm trying to be. Otherwise, it's a square. And I want to give it a fluid form. So that's why I go diagonally forward. Then I go outside. Then I return to the line, and now we have the, let's say, the second corner that we want to make more circular. The first one was this one that we were doing diagonally, forward for me, backward for her, and the second that we have is this corner here that makes it still look more like tango. So I'm going to use exactly the same strategy, and I'm going to do, I will show you from this point of view. I will do diagonally, I go outside, I return to the line, and instead of going to the side, I'm going to go diagonally backwards. And here I'm going to pull for the enganchada. So the sequence then looks different. Okay, here we have the beat. Take a look. From this, we turn this sequence into this one. There, and this has a more circular form, and it starts looking more like Milonga. It's also more Milonga friendly, alright? From this point of view now, take a look. So, you see, I go diagonally backwards. Every time after the enganchada, remember the woman is resolving automatically and preparing the next step backwards automatically too. This means that I can jump into the 3 in parallel system and I can repeat the sequence over and over and over. Right? So when we repeat the sequence, then it looks like this. Take a look. Here is the enganchada, out. Enganchada, enganchada, and directly from the enganchada to the 3. Alright? Now, there was the cat, yes. So, we were commenting this sequence before with Ludmila because it felt really good, and I thought Ludmila was doing the enganchada. And then Ludmila asked me, are we going to do an enganchada or not? And I said, you're not doing the enganchada, I thought you were doing the enganchada. And she said, no, I'm not doing the enganchada. Okay, yes, James, please write your question while I tell this. You can write the question, I will answer them. So I asked Ludmila, why are you not doing the enganchada? And she said, I don't know, what is the enganchada? Because I not what is the enganchada, but is there any enganchada? And I told her, well, yes, because I am pulling. And she felt like I was moving there, but she was not feeling that I was pulling. So I showed her the difference. Okay, take a look. This is without pulling, and this is with pulling. And there's like, I told her no reason that I would pull for not doing an enganchada. That means that everything what you do, every movement, rotation, if you're pulling here I mean, not pulling like this, but over the axle. Everything has a reason. There's nothing that is happening randomly because of nothing. You must try as a leader to become really precise with your leading, so that there's nothing that you're doing that is not leading, right? Because otherwise your movements or your signals are going to be random, and the woman is not going to know if you are leading something or not. So for not doing the enganchada, I just do nothing. If I want the enganchada, I am pulling. The thing is that if the woman makes the enganchada or not, for me it's like no difference, because if she changes the weight or transfers the weight to the right foot, then it's going to fit anyway. So that's the reason why it felt so good even without the enganchada. So it could be that I lead the enganchada and she makes no enganchada. It happened also somewhere that I didn't lead the enganchada and she did the enganchada, and it fits too. Okay, we're trying just to be precise, but if you do the enganchada or not, it's going to fit anyway. Okay, but the leading is the pulling. So let's read the question now. Is it possible to show a sequence of 3 movements in a milonga? Sequence of 3 in milonga and in tango. Yes. Let me think. For example, let's say, for example, very clear example. If we take the 3-4-5 with the basic step in tango, okay? 3-4-5. The difference between tango and milonga is more, I could say, the way of dancing. The structure is a little bit different exactly because of that. There are some movements in tango that you can do because you have more time, in milonga is not possible, right? So this dance structure is a little bit different, but there are some, let's say, structures that are exactly the same, but they are danced differently. For example, 3-4-5, let's say 3-4-5 in tango. In tango would be, for example, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's one line. In milonga, it would be more like 3, 4, 5. For example, I would dance it more like this. Why? Because if you dance on a line, even if you follow the speed, even if you are double timing, even if it's possible to dance, it looks like that. So it's more like how it looks like. For example, from this point of view, you would see 2, 3, 4, 5. This is tango. Now, if you want to make this longer, you will do more diagonal movements. For example, 3, 4, 5. And I would cross 2, like a kind of kanjenge. Now, of course, in kanjenge, we had another poster where we would do this kind of figure, but well, we didn't practice kanjenge last time, but this is more or less the idea. So in milonga, if you do, for example, this in milonga, some people would say it looks like tango. So it depends on how you dance. But now, if there is a main difference, I would say it depends on the situation, all right? For example, let's say ochos backward. Can you imagine dancing ochos backward in milonga? For example, you have in tango, you have ochos backward. Let's say here. How would it look like in milonga? For example, you have da 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 da. It's not really like milonga. I would do in this case, for example, walking inside. In this case, if I walk inside, I turn 2, and this looks more like milonga than the other version, because the other version was just going to the side, like in tango. You see, so these are the small differences. These are the same figures, but they look different. So this is like more the difference, how it looks like. And for this, you have to like watch a lot of milonga and have your own criteria to identify if it looks like milonga or not. Because there are also some couples performing milonga like tango. and it looks like tango, but they are performing at festivals, for example, but they are actually dancing tango to Milonga music. And many people don't realize it because it's more about style. So now we continue with the sequence. So we have the salida, outside, return to the line. So we have this with the enganchada, right? Now we are going to apply a double timing. And I have to change this Milonga. Okay, we're going to apply a double timing. And for this, we're going to apply a rebote when we go forwards. So we go side, 3, 1, 2, 3. You see? There we have already a double time. Okay? So we do 2, 3, 6, and the enganchada. As you saw now, probably, I also crossed here because it feels more fluent if I go with this movement. On the other side, if I just connect, think about it, okay? And here's the analytic part. When she crosses, I will show it slow. When she crosses, what is happening? She's supporting her weight here, but when she crosses, she moves there. So she's supporting there. If I am supporting here, take a look. This was the previous support, this one, and this was my support. Now she crosses, she goes there. And if I change here, take a look at the distance that we have. It's a big distance. You can do it if you feel confident doing it, because you are going to have an appeal, which is leaning on each other. But you can also cross. And if you cross, you are moving to her side. It's going to be more comfortable. Let's say, with enganchada, and I am not going to cross. What happens? We have a kind of appeal because she's more to this side and more to this side. And then we continue. If I cross, we are more aligned. You see, we are closer to each other. So it depends on how you feel. But both are good and both are nice, right? So this is now the first double timing we apply. Out. And 1, 2, 3. Out. 1, 2, 3. Out. 1, 2, 3. Out. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now put this to the side because we're going to use it. Now we are going to work on the sequence that we are going to start doing the Doble Tiempo Continuo, right? So take a look at the sequence. I will show it in open way so you can see it better. This is a very simple sequence. I go to the 3, I change. I go to the 7, I change. I go to the 1, I change. 3, change. 7, change. 1, change. 3, change. 7, change. 1, change. Right? So this is going to be the sequence we're going to working on with the Doble Tiempo Continuo. And before that what? Mila, subscribe to this channel.
Sorry.
It's for free.
I
It helps the algorithm.
want to say.
So let's try it again. Now, she doesn't know what I'm going to say. Tango Expert, UniversiTango, Telegram, subscribe to the channel, Instagram. There's so many things. So we do 3, change, 7, change, 1, change, 3, change, 7, change, 1, change, and so on, right? And that's it. Now, we're going to apply one double timing, which is 7, 8, 1. Okay? So then you have 3, change, 7, 8, 1, change, 3, change, 7, 8, 1, change, 3, change, 7, 8, 1. When you go to the 3, Sorry, when you go to the 7, if you lift a little bit, then she's going to understand the double timing, right? More questions? Yes, you can write all questions you want. just write in there, and when we read them, we're going to answer the question. So, lifting is going to be the signal for your double time, right? 3 change 7 8 1. Okay, 3 change 7 8 1. And 7 8 1. 3 change 7 8 1, and so on. Okay. So now we are going to apply a different double timing. We're going to do 3 change 7. Only this. 3 change 7. Take you. 1, 3, 10. 3 change 7. 1. And 3 change 7. And 3 change 7. So if you try all these variants, you are going to see that you can apply the double timing there or there or there or every point that you want. It's always going to fit, right? Now, before we do the doble tiempo continuo, I want to tell you something that is important to know as information, okay? As information, because it might give you some direction when you're double timing. Sometimes when you double time, you don't know probably how many steps. If it helps you to filter and to have a more clear direction, we have always an odd number of steps. That means that a double timing is going to be always 3 steps or 5 or 7 or 9 or 11 or 13 and so on, right? This is because we go always from one on beat to another on beat. So you have 1 2 3 or 1 2 3 4 5 and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and you're going to always have an odd number of steps. So other combinations like 2 4 6 8 and 10 are possible, but are really weird and we don't really use it much. So the natural way of doing it is an odd number of steps, and that's the time depend on the conduction or not, only on the musical accompaniment. The time, you mean the double timing? If you're talking about the double timing, tell me yes, you're talking about the double timing. Because the time depends, or you mean the speed? Everything anyway depends on the music. The music is going to give you, let's say, the speed, the minimum speed, and the maximum speed, right? Yes, the music. For me, it's the music. Let's say if I have in Milonga, we have mostly only 2 speeds. You have the, let's say, simple beat in Milonga and the double beat time, nothing else. In tango, you have, let's say, until 4. You have the first speed, the second, the third, and the fourth speed. It's not really common, the fourth speed, but we use mostly 3 and even 4 in tango. In Milonga, we use mostly 2, the simple beat and the double time. So, for example, if you have this beat, okay, let's say here I am dancing the simple beat, I am using the double timing, but the maximum speed of the double timing depends on the main rhythm of the milonga. Now, if we use the same milonga, but now faster, you see? So I am using the simple beat and the double timing, but the main speed is already faster. So the double time is going to be even faster than the first version. So we have always these 2 speeds. But let's say if you have 100 in the first speed, the next speed is going to be 200. If you have 50, the double time is going to be 100. If you have 30, the double time is going to be 60. And it depends on how is the main speed. So I hope this was the question, and I hope this was the answer we're looking for. So now we have to continue. So we're going to continue now. Okay, so what we're going to do with this sequence, because we have already this first one with the rebote, remember? So 2, 3, 6 with the rebote, and double timing, 1, 2, 3, and repeat, 1, 2, 3, step, 1, 2, 3, and step. Then we have the other sequence. So we have the 3 chains, 7, 8, 1, chain, 3 chains, 7, 8, 1, with different double times. 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. So you can double time whatever you want. But now we are going to add a rebound or a rebote when we do the 1, which means you can practice like this: 3 chains, 7, 8, 1 and 1. 3 chains, 7, 8, 1 and 1. Step, 3 chains, 7, 8, 1 and 1. Right? So this is what you can practice. And now, if we move to the doble tiempo continuo, what are we going to do? We're going to do this is the doble tiempo continuo. So we are double timing everything, right? Now, what you can do in order to not get tired or confused, you can do it from the 3 until the rebound of the 1. And then you have a whole sequence of doble tiempo continuo with a pause in between. Perfect. So take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you have a pause. So you begin on the 3 and you stop on the rebound of the 1. Here you start, here you make a pause, right? So this is going to give you more order when you practice this sequence so you don't get confused, right? Now, okay, now it's the advertisement moment. Remember that we're doing these live streams twice a week, once or twice a week, if we have the possibility to do that. Because this is our space, so we can use this as much as we want, and we let everyone know when it's going to be the next live streaming, so you can write your questions, and like James is writing a lot of questions, we love it, so keep writing questions, and we let everyone know in our email list, which is UniversiTango.com, UniversiTango.com. You're going to find the link also down in the description of the video. We have also the Telegram channel. If you go to Telegram and look for UniversiTango, you click the join channel and you're in. Both things are for free. Now, if you want more, you can also join our premium community at TangoExpert.com. TangoExpert.com. And there you have live sessions with us. You have the musicality training with the library, interactive musicality, guest maestros, solo tango sessions, the podcast Charla Tango exclusively created for Tango Expert. And now we have the level up routines, which are practice routines made just for, not much for, let's say, understanding every detail, because there's enough information inside to understand every detail. We want people to go directly to the practice, to know the most important information, to know the rhythm, and to know a routine, how they can practice in order to make immediate improvement. Remember, if you repeat a movement 100 times, and there comes a guy who did it 100,000 times, he's going to do it better than you. That's simple. because he has more experience, more practice. But if he knows how to practice and how to repeat and how to focus and what to focus on, right? So this is what we are giving you inside of the tango level up routines. We tell you how we do it, nothing else. How we practice. You know, we were musicians before. We were not dancers our whole life. We were musicians. Ludmila, professional violinist and professional pianist. That's why I have the piano there. And we include many practice methods of the classical music to the tango, because you know classical musicians, they practice a lot. These are not long routines, but very methodical, with a practice method that brings you really to some result in your dance. So looks trying such double timing repetitive. Yes. It depends on how you double time, Robert. So the double timing, so the continuous double timing is of course double timing, like more steps, but it depends on what you're doing. Because for example, this sequence that we showed there, I wouldn't repeat it over and over and over and over again without pauses. Maybe just if I have some phrase that is going to the end and I want to repeat it until the end of the phrase, but just until the end of the phrase, and then it's over. Okay, because Milonga needs this kind of changing moods between simple beat and double timing. Otherwise, it's just getting tired and suffering and getting stressed. It makes no sense. Right? So, need to is not used in most dance. Yes, so I think not there are not many people using the doble tiempo continuo because they don't know how to. And where are the limits? For example, a very common double tiempo continuo that couples do when they perform on Milongas and festivals is they go here and there. And this is a double tiempo continuo. Doble tiempo continuo. But where's the end? For me, when I do this, I look for the end of this sequence at the end of the musical phrase. That's it. Because the music is telling you how long it's going to have, and the music is made up of musical phrases. So until the end of the musical phrase, it's enough, right? So take a look to the combination of the sequence now, because we have the first sequence and we have the second one. So remember that. So we have this first one. This is one double time, 3 steps. Then we have the second one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see? And then we make a pause. So it's an odd number of steps. Now, how do we connect them? Think about the connection step that we have. Where are we starting? We are starting on the 2 diagonal. Okay, so this is like our starting point. Then we have the 3. Here we have the revolver. What do we have after this enganchada? I told you before, we have the 3. Where do we start the second sequence? After this, the double timing on the 3. 3, 10, 8, 1, and 1. So you have the 3 as connection point between both. That would be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see? See that? Sometimes I mix English and German. Sorry. So your connection point is the 3. That means that you can do, I will show it slow now, not in Milonga speed. Take a look. You do the first sequence, 3, rebote, enganchada. Second sequence, 3, double 1, open, and what do you have here? The 3 again. You can jump into the first sequence. What do you do then? The second. What do you do then? The first one again. So you can you can mix between the first and the second one all the time, so you don't make your dance partner tired of so many continuous double timing. Okay? This is important because we want to have fun, and we want to. At the end, I can't dance anymore and it's stressful. We don't want to get stressed. We want to have fun, right? So, if we show it now in Milonga tempo, this first sequence, second sequence. First sequence, second sequence. First sequence, dun, dun, dun. Perfect end. Okay, so I made this sequence also like this sequence in two parts, so that if you begin this combined sequence at the beginning of the measure, you are going to be able to dance it perfectly until the end of the phrase. So you are going to have one, and this is going to be the end of the phrase. And here you're going to start again. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you see, you have an eight measure, which is going to be the musical phrase. So if you dance the sequence at the beginning of the phrase, you're going to end the phrase exactly at the end of the sequence. So this is how it's made up. Okay. Lucas says, the rhythm so pleasant. Yes, it is. You know, look at the beginning when I started dancing, I asked my teacher, but I think he just didn't want to answer my question because I heard this music that was not tango, and I asked him, how do I dance this? And he said, the same as tango, just faster. But it was not the same. And then I tried to learn somehow because no one told me how to dance milonga, so I learned it on my own. And how follower know that I will turn on the double tempo? There are two leading elements that I use. The first one is the increasing pressure. And the second one is the lifting. So I lift here on her back. Okay, I lift here on her back, and I also I increase the pressure within my upper body. When you increase the pressure, she identifies this increasing pressure as increasing speed. That's it. So if you have a constant pressure, she's going to have a constant speed. If you increase the pressure, she's going to think this is double time. And if you additionally lift with the right hand, please not with the left, just with the right, then the signal is much clearer. Yes, James. Yes, it's difficult, but it's only practice. Let's say if you get accustomed to this milonga flow, then these things are not really that difficult. The problem is that people think of this step. Okay, I do this step. Now what do I have to do? I have to change. Okay, what do I do next? I go to the side, and then what? And now, okay, one, and oh, here a rebound. So they are thinking what they have to do now, and what I do is I think in a shape of movement, and I do that all the time. So I think like in, let's say, 3 to 5 steps ahead, earlier. So the plan of my milonga dancing is always 3 to 5 steps before. If I'm here and I don't know what to do, then I'm too late, right? So for this reason, I tell you that these practice routines that we're creating are exactly made up for this. After you did something so many times and you know how to do it, how to repeat it, and if you can double time or not, when you are in this situation, then you have some possibilities. You can do this, or you can do this, or you can do this, or you can do this. You have many possibilities from the same part, but for this you need like many practice routines that give you this knowledge, or let's say this natural feeling of dancing milonga. And It takes some time, but all these things that we are telling you here are helpful for developing your milonga dancing more. All right, and I have to repeat it. The Milonga level up routine. We have the first one inside of the Tango Expert platform, and we are going to publish every week a new routine for tango, then for milonga, then for vals, and then again for tango, for milonga, for vals, because this is how we improve. This is how we improve. You don't need hours a day for practicing, because when we did it, we had no idea. We were, for example, in Buenos Aires, we were practicing like 10 hours a day. So when we were living in Buenos Aires, 10 hours a day, what's a lot? But we didn't know how to do it. And we didn't have the information because many teachers in Buenos Aires tried to sell us something we didn't need. For example, they tried to sell us musicality and they didn't know we're musicians. Once we said we're musicians, they told us, oh, yes, I see you're very good in musicality, but you need technique. So you never know, or we never knew what they wanted to sell us. So we had to practice and discover everything by our own, on our own. Just practicing, trying, failing again, recording ourselves and so on. So this is what we're trying to simplify now, and for this reason, we are giving this information and creating also this routine inside of tangoexpert.com, because we want to simplify this process for everyone, because it's not that difficult. The thing is that no one told us how to do that, so that's the reason why it took so many years, but it's not that difficult, right? So yes, yes. Wait. Let me listen or read another question here. Is learn automatic sequence or depend on the leading? And it depends always let's say on the leading. What we are working on many times is on the automatic sequence, but you have to lead it anyway. That's why, for example, when we do the level up routines, I tell always for the man what to do with the leading, because we want to not only automate the step, but also automate the leading. That's the problem. When the leading is also like spontaneous, it's not going to work. The leading is always more or less the same. It feels differently. You adjust some things depending on who are you dancing with, but the basics are always the same. So it's about leading it so many times. You know how I learned at the beginning? At the beginning, I think the first 4 years I danced tango, I had no idea that I have to lead. I had no idea. And you know how I learned it? Because the ladies in my city, they were accustomed to have a very, very, very strong lead. So when I had to lead them, I didn't lead them. They were like leading me. They were moving so strong that I felt the movement in my body. And after that, when I danced with other ladies, one lady told me, "Oh, you have a very good leading," and I had no idea what is a leading, because I was just trying to repeat exactly the same movement that I felt from these women from my city. So the way of learning the leading could be with method or could be also with practice. So that's why repeating a kind of leading is going to bring you anyway to the result. So yes, Luca, for yes, learning Milonga, I would say don't try to make too many things at the same time. Try to start with some repertoire and stay there for a while, let's say for a couple of weeks until you feel comfortable. And then add one thing and stay there with this extra thing, for example, one whole week, then another extra thing, and then one whole week or more. Because at the end, it takes time. But if you add one small thing, then you're getting more and more and more confident. All right. So keep it simple at the beginning, and add slowly more and more. Right. So guys, we're going to show you once more the sequence we did today. So we have the first one, the second one with the doble tiempo continuo. First one, doble tiempo continuo. Now, if you see also when I am pulling Ludmila to the rebote, I am doing this kind of a kind of quebrada. This is also some of these styling things that fit to Milonga. When we talked at the beginning of this live streaming, that there are some things that are different to tango because they look different, right? So this kind of quebradas, so like changing the posture in the moment when I did the enganchada is part also of our way of dancing Milonga. So I think in tango, probably I wouldn't do this movement. I do it in Milonga. Is it necessary? I think it's not necessary, but it gives like more Milonga color to your movement, right? So, tangueros, thank you very much for being here today. I think it's enough. We are almost 1 hour here. Sí, refer to the explanation. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, James. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Luca, for all your comments, for being here, and keep practicing it. And we're going to keep doing this live streaming. So after the live streaming, if you have any question or topic or whatever you would like to work on, just write a comment in the video and we're going to plan live streaming. So we are doing it, as I say, once or twice a week, and it's our pleasure to bring you more value. So until then, guys, have a nice weekend. We love you all and see you in the next live streaming next week. We're going to let you know through the email list and through Telegram too. So until then, no, we're not from the US. Ludmila is, you're from Russia, right? No? Where are you from?
This is a question.
She doesn't want to say. I am from Chile. I'm from South America. We live in Europe, but I am from Chile. Oh, it's our pleasure. Thank you very much. So guys, have a very nice weekend. We love you all and see you next week in the next live streaming. Bye bye.